The Little Island. It's a half-hour satire on idealists. Three little men on an island, each with his own rigid, fixed idea. This man, for example, has his own private vision of beauty. The film got me an international reputation, and I lost my shirt on it. The next film I made was a private joke.
Once upon a time, there lived a man named Squidgy Bod. Everything he did was wrong. But everybody loved him. When he went out, dogs would lick him. Horses would wave their tails at him. And little children would follow him.
Oddly enough, Love Me was a financial success, and I got organized again. And then I started 5 new films. Then last year we began making feature film titles. Everything has to go on at once. Roy has now switched over to animating the Peter Evans commercial that I've laid out. He's working from my storyboard on the wall and a record of the soundtrack. Animation is just like a kid drawing pictures in the corner of a school book and flipping the pages to make them move. The professional animator does exactly the same thing on sheets of acetate. He draws the same figure again and again in different stages of the movement. He flips the sheets to check how each bit of movement will look. Only the moving part is drawn over and over again. In this case, it takes 4 drawings for Brunhilde to open her mouth. Roy's been working on them for about 20 minutes, and it'll last a quarter of a second on the screen. To see how the action works, we shoot these line drawings on film and run it with the soundtrack in the theater. If it all works as we want, then we go ahead and paint in the colors.
Where is Siegfried to take me away to Peter Evans' eating house?
Yeah, that's fine. That's wrong, isn't it? The horn. It's too cartoony.
To Peter Evans' eating house.
Food with style.
What was that?
Food with style!
Yes,
Yeah, the horn is too... and they shouldn't wiggle. When we run the line tests, I always like to drag Omar in to get his opinion. He hasn't been involved in any drawings, so we get an objective reaction. Also, since he's the business manager, he has to be fully informed so he can keep the clients at bay.
Well, they ought to be happy with that. I think it looks great.
We've got the Nasruddin line test. First, I've just seen it on the moviola.
Fine. Oh, this is the bread one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, a food.
No, that's fine. That's very good.
Fantastic.
It is a blessing which descends as manna from the heavens. It is a gift from God, notwithstanding man's iniquity and undeserving state.
No, he's brought out very well because it's difficult enough to bring it into another language, but to bring it into cartoon form and retain the original value is that's very good. You see, the way the character is
a substance
is acting. I mean, this is a sort of identifiable person. You know,
draws nutriment.
the typical sort of intellectual or somebody like that. It's very good.
He's
That's
terrific, Roy.
It's
isn't
very
he?
good.
You wouldn't,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Throughout the ages, savants and sages have sought the answer to this question. But still, it has to be admitted that nobody really knows.
Sometimes, the only way that I can get to actually animate is to work at home. I have a complete animation set up upstairs, and Kathy, my wife, often sits there and reads while I work. Usually, she doesn't interrupt me. I'm working on a long scene for Ivor Pitfalks. Been doing it for 6 months now. Everything that Pitfalks says or does comes out black. Here he's trying to play the violin, but no matter what he does, the notes keep turning into black filth. Just a quiet evening at home, with records on the phonograph. The last stage of making an animated film is shooting it. It looks like some sort of weird religious ritual. You have a small room with the walls painted solid black to kill any reflections on the acetate sheets. You have just a single cameraman bending reverently over the animation table, and you have the camera mounted directly overhead, staring down with a glass eye. You start with the background, black in this case. Then the acetate cells go on top of this. The background shows through the cells where they're not painted. With each action on a different level, you can control them all separately. Then the cameraman pushes the button, and the camera shoots one frame, 1/24 of a second. And then he does the whole thing over again with the next stage of the movement. Lay the cells, push the button, shoot one frame, remove the cells, and so on. For 3 days, working from 9 till 5, he performs this ritual. The result is 1 minute of completed animation.
Where is the to take me away to be to heaven, eating eating house.
I am Siegfried, come to take you away to Peter Heaven's eating house.
Food with style.
What was that?
Food with style.
Yes, yes, for me. Food with style.
To Peter Heaven. Food with style. To Peter Heaven. To Peter Heaven. To Peter Heaven.
Commercials like Peter Evans support the serious work, but everything has to go forward together. You can't make your money, close the door, and then go all arty. The trick is to keep the serious work going all the time. Most times, that means hanging around at night after everybody else is gone and the phone has stopped ringing. I was a painter before I became an animator. The reason I gave up painting for animation and all the rigmarole was that I knew I could make paintings move. I want to make animation grow up. It doesn't always have to be Mickey Mouse, speeded up movement, and slapstick humor. Animation ought to be able to carry serious concepts. It should be able to move slowly and with dignity, and it can be beautiful and lyrical. All these things are possible for animation, but we've only just begun to scratch the surface. I think that detailed, realistic drawings can be animated just as easily as simple cartoons. I'm doing a test sequence of a girl fondling a flower. I'm doing each drawing as though it were a single watercolor sketch, but there are 60 of them. They'll give me 10 seconds of action. If you speed up a realistic action, like a cartoon or an old newsreel, it becomes funny. But if you slow it down even slightly, it gains dignity. Well, at least that's one direction we can go. There are lots of others, but you just don't get the time. The people from Hollywood will be back in full swing tomorrow. Peter Evans wants us to put restaurant addresses into his commercial. And we're bringing in 2 new animators. So I'll wrap up. When I was 15 years old, I asked an animator I admired very much, what can I do to train myself to be a terrific animator? His answer was, learn to draw. Forget about techniques. Just learn to draw. Then you can do anything you want. I think he's absolutely right. 20 years ago, Walt Disney developed the basic techniques for us, and it's still just sitting there on a plate, waiting to be used.